We will call the meeting of the Finance Committee for Stephenson County to order circa Monday, January 12th, 2026 at 6 p.m. We are in the Stewart Center Conference Room on the 7th floor at 50 West Douglas Street, Freeport, Illinois. So we are excited to be here to serve the County of Freeport, County Stephenson, in Freeport. Thank you. I'm a little slow today, so please catch up with me later. Item number 2, the prayer. Mr. Frick, would you please lead us in prayer tonight? Thank you.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for each one of these members here for our gathering tonight. We ask that you would help us to be in mind of what we're here to do for our county as we make decisions that move forward. Thank you for each one of the members. We thank you for your safety bringing us here and ask for that as we go home. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you, sir. All right, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on the agenda? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Review and approval of meeting minutes from December 15th, 2025. What's your pleasure? I have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second? I have a second. Any discussion on the meeting minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I have claims in the amount were that's health department, right?
As soon as we're doing
So health department claims in the amount of cash requirements of $47,885.16, manuals of $2,418.13 for a total of $50,303.29. I would entertain a motion to approve those as presented. Motion. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on those? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Let's see. Oh, approval of claims for the board, for the county board. I have cash requirements of $204,385.72, manuals of $910,512.51. For a grand total this month of $1,114,898.23. I would entertain a motion to approve those as presented.
Yes.
Yes, sir. I'll give that to you. Did you make a motion?
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion. And a second. Any discussion on the claims? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So, other comments?
See you on the conference.
I just had a quick question back on the health department. The health department did review those claims before they brought them here.
Finance committee for the health department did not meet because we did not have a quorum. When the finance committee doesn't meet, they come to the county board.
I think.
Hey. No public comments. Diamond Brothers and 7.1 Carol will be here next month. County Administrator, you have the floor, madam.
All right. Past due communications with past due vendors are ongoing. Have some updated information to present later. Our annual IMRF postings are up on the website. The RFP for shredding services closed last week. We had the opening, and that'll be before you later. Next Greater Freeport Partnership meeting is on the 28th. Rayanne and Carrie from Stephanie's office have been diligently working to update all of the year-end and year benefits totals and things in payroll. They have been working nonstop on that. Kind of an update. Mr. Perez has made 2 of his payments in correlation with his repayment agreement. Another one due later this week. So we've also been working with the new copier service provider on issues and remedying those and getting a master list together. I have audit information, but I don't want to steal that from the finance director or somebody. So
I know she's probably very excited.
It should go by legislative update.
Oh, yes, I did, and I left those papers, there, but I was on the, legislative update, webinar. There was some changes and things that I forwarded along to the departments that relate to them. There was, senior freeze, incremental increases in the amount that can be froze. There was information about license plate reading cameras can now be installed on posts that don't necessarily utility posts, which is a little late for what we've done. I don't recall the other ones, but I had some updates that I presented at admin.
Okay, any questions? All right, hearing none, so we will move on.
Yeah.
Madam Finance Director, you have the floor.
Okay, so we have officially rolled to 2026 in our financial software. This time of year is always a little bit challenging with dealing with current year and prior year. I'm working on the first two payrolls of 2026. The first payroll will, in its entirety, have to be moved back to 2025. And then the second payroll, there were 3 or 4 days that need to be moved back to 2025. So before I can send out reports, I apologize. Not that everybody was, anxiously waiting for the report that I sent, but I need to get that payroll information converted to 2025 before I send reports out. A lot of the department heads double check their numbers with ours. So that will be coming in the next couple of days. So once all those adjustments are completed, I turn the 2025 compiled payroll information over to IPMG. They do a workers' compensation audit every year, and that's due by the 20th. So I'll get that information to them in the next few days. So as Stephanie mentioned, we had our audit planning meeting today. So we discussed changes that will impact 2025. The biggest, obviously, which is the nursing home. I did update the contact list, so Serenity Estates will be granted access to our audit portal. And then we also discussed kind of requesting everything at the beginning. I think we usually work in terms of preliminary field work and then final field work, which comes in April or May. But we thought if we just send out all the requests at the beginning of the audit, everybody's kind of anticipating that. They know about it in advance. So hopefully that will help with response times and also dealing with another entity getting us the information we no longer have access to. And they have read-only access, but nobody has ever dealt with that software system. So we really wouldn't know, even though if we did get read-only access, maybe we would be able to decipher information. Maybe not. So we're kind of relying on them to get that for the auditors. Got an update on the fraud questionnaire that you all get every year. They kind of changed the format. It's going to be more open-ended questions instead of yes or no. So just look out for that. And your responses are not required, but obviously they're strongly encouraged. And then they're going to pick a few county board members for a phone or Zoom interview to go over the fraud questions. So you're the lucky one to get picked. And that's really all I have as far as the audit.
On the audit, with regard to the management agreement, what responsibility is there still on the books with that? I mean, if they're a separate entity, but just all we have is an ownership interest in the property at this point, what do we really have to get from that, I guess?
Well, we have from January to September.
Last year. Oh, I keep thinking, forgive me.
Yeah, so we need that
I got you.
information, and they do kind of need kind of an in and out since we still
Yeah,
owners
yeah, that
of the
makes
home.
I got you. Okay.
We're kind of discussing the extent of what's going to be required from that last quarter.
And I'm sure they understand.
Yes, they're well aware of the situation.
Gotcha. If it just,
One other thought, if it had actually closed last year, would that still be the case? You'd still have to show it closed?
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yes.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? All right, hearing none, keep moving. Madam Treasurer. Thank you,
Mr.
Jean.
Chair. I'm hoping that everybody's had a chance to review the December monthly report. The front, again, shows sales tax, income tax, tax receipts remain stable throughout the year. I was kind of pleased by that. And actually, they were about 370,000 above the previous year. I was a little concerned with that reduction in local use tax, which some of you may have seen down to single, 9,000 when it used to be, 100,000. So, but the other taxes have kind of come in and supported that. As of the end of the year, total county funds were down month to month, 13%, which is one of our biggest declines, which is still well within normal range. It's about 1.25 million, due largely in part to 3 payrolls in December, even though employees were paid January 2nd, we had to move the money in December because of the January 1st holiday. So that makes it look inordinately larger than it really is. Also contributing was larger AP payments, and then we also had the semi-annual payout of holiday pay to public safety staff. So just everything kind of all at once. And if you looked at the investment page where I have the yellow highlights, you see 11 investments matured in December, earning 41,500 change in interest across 7 different funds. As of the end of the year, there were 14 investments in place across 10 different funds. Just last week, I placed 4 more for another 1.575 million. So I'm still going short term just to kind of take advantage of the rates that I can. The longer we go out, the shorter the rate, and then we have some cash flow issues. So I try to stick to shorter term. This December report, like all December reports, has this extra page here. So it's kind of beginning of the year, end of the year, and the change by fund and overall. So we saw an overall decline of 7.1%. Which is 2.185 million over last year. Most of that was the spend down of ARPA funds. So that's not a negative, that's a positive. If you remove ARPA spending, the decline was only 1.77% or about 500,000. The point I wanted to share here is that you're aware that the county has fronted over $800,000 to cover nursing home bills, none of which have been repaid yet. And don't appear to be for quite some time. So if you figure that in, the final result in 2025 would have been growth of over $340,000. So that's absent the ARPA spent out. So does anybody have any questions about anything I've said so far? Or about anything else on the report? Right. All right. So other financial year end, we're still working year end stuff. Carrier payroll manager did finish all W-2 forms, so everybody's got them either handed to them by their department head or they were mailed to former employees, so that's finished. We also had the 1099s done, and they were actually mailed on Friday by a company that I've engaged to do them separately because it's less expensive for them to do it for us than for us to electronically file because of some of the federal guidelines. We started receiving those today, so we are on top of the year-end tax form. So we're pretty pleased that those are finished. On the collector side, so we talked a little bit before the meeting started about assessment notices out, changes in exemptions. So all state reporting was done. So last year's done, state's balanced. We're already into the cycle, which because it's a cycle, there's really no end. It's just kind of this downside of the cycle for me. But things are gearing up because of the exemption change for senior freeze. That income change has been increased to $10,000, that threshold, so you can make 10,000 more. However, that doesn't come into play until next year. For me, for people who are interested in the senior deferral, the tax deferral, where the state comes in and pays the tax for people who choose that, that's immediate. That started this year, and that's going up incrementally as finance director mentioned, a little bit next year, and then it's gonna settle at 79,000 in 2 years. So it's 75, 77.5, I think, and 79, so. So that's welcome relief for those who are utilizing the freeze. I'm taking now, and we've had quite a few payments, prepaid taxes. We still accept them through April. We have a lot of people who are taking advantage of it before who didn't. People who travel are doing that more often so that they don't forget to pay their taxes before they travel. Already in the process of redesigning our tax bill a little bit, some format language changes, trying to meet some new requirements that the General Assembly required in terms of language and particular information that has to be on the bill, so we're working on that. Got our first personal property replacement check today, so that's a good thing. I did get a report from an independent commission who had some mixed ideas about personal property replacement tax. You may remember this is some money that we received from the state that replaces some taxes that were collected up until 1979, which we have a lot of freedom to put kind of where we want. So we currently use general fund, capital fund, insurance, social security, and a teeny tiny little bit, and some highway funds. And that's been declining significantly over the past few years. We believe this commission believes we're in the last year of the correction. So we hope to be seeing an uptick of that. Possibly not this year, although we're already seeing a little more than we thought. But in the future, as long as the state doesn't divert more money out of the local government distributed fund, we may be actually seeing an increase of those funds. And we really kind of thought they were on their way out. So a little bit of encouraging news. That is everything I have, unless you have any questions.
Any questions?
Always appreciate positive news.
Yeah?
Sure, it's absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. Agenda here. No old business, new business, approval, oh. Thought you might have something there. It's true. Chairman. Approval of, let me read this, so I know. Approval of resolution authorizing multi-year property tax advance payment of the nursing facility real estate tax levy. Does someone want to explain that to me? Thank you. I would appreciate that.
Okay, so if you recall, we did this earlier. And we were taking 85% of each year for the next 3 years for the nursing center to pay back vendors. So that's kind of a rule of thumb. It's written in the law that when you go out to banking institutions for a tax anticipation loan, 85% is the max. So that was kind of the guideline that we followed. So since this loan is internal, we can go for the full 100%. We talked it over with the state's attorney. He agrees. So we have another 225,000, 75,000 each year that we can capture to pay vendors right now. So that's what's before you.
Everybody get that?
This is just for the 2 1/4, for the 225.
Yes, correct.
So this would be a resolution authorizing multi-year property tax advance payment to the nursing center facility real estate tax levy. And there's a full resolution there. Hopefully everybody has the opportunity to pull that up. The amount is $225,000, and I would entertain a motion to approve that as presented. I have a motion, and a second. Any other discussion on that? I think as we get into looking at paying off these bills, that will be helpful. So I'm certainly supportive. So hearing no other discussion, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion carried. Thank you, Adrian. Next, we have approval of payment prioritization of outstanding vendor claims for the nursing center.
So I will go ahead and discuss that. I know last month we had an agreement of how we were going to proceed with payment. After speaking with some of the vendors, some offered settlement agreements if they were prioritized. So if you look at the list before you, those settlements agreements are notated in the blue all the way across. reflecting the one settlement agreement that is before you as the next action item. That would be what I would prioritize. The ones that have made agreements with us would be my recommendation to prioritize this time.
So if we get to the bottom of that, negotiated amount, why is it showing 1.823? Doesn't seem like it would be that. Because the total amount owed is 2,747,103.06. That includes the county. That includes the. So owed the county 842, so the actual amount owed external vendors is 1,904,455.07. You say
If I
that?
may.
Yes, please.
So the savings, the third column is subtracted from that 1.904.
And that's what we're.
And that
picking up.
is the 1.823.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification. And so what do we have available now?
That's in the black box.
In the black, yeah.
Yeah, at the top of the page, the top of the report.
Thank you. So we're still short half of that. All right. So essentially, just so we understand, the blue marked ones are highly recommended. The yellows are county funds. What is the green?
Green is one that we did not prioritize last time.
Okay.
The orange, ones that at this point I would not prioritize.
Okay.
The ones that are blue but not all the way across would be, local vendors or people who have been in regular contact, but not necessarily prioritized with the settlements.
Maybe 23904. That's just the blue ones or that's.
That's all,
That's
all of it.
So do we have a total for the ones that are green with the negotiated amount?
That amount in the black box minus 25,000, $400,000.
Okay.
Somehow we gotta get that total down to the money we have there. Correct. I see people looking at me going, yeah, Waylon, that's pretty much it. You got it. It's not rocket science. So it seems to me the top line, the first one on the list, I mean, we're saving an awful lot and that they're asking for an entire payment. We can't break that up at all. Here. Yeah. And the second one,
That is the email that I passed out,
that's the email I'll have here.
which would be the amount reflected.
So they're saying they want that 316 and they want interest of 1.5% monthly on the balance.
If that's the way you went with that.
If we went with the 316, leaving a balance unless we pay it all. And that, the next one in blue there, you're saying that's already paid?
Yep.
So can we scratch that from the list? And then the next one, you already paid as well.
Correct.
Now, how are those numbers reflected in here?
Well, those are the numbers prior to those.
Okay,
Sent.
but that would come off the 1.9, but I
Or 1.8,
it's 1.8.
or the 198.
If those are already paid, that gets us closer to the 1.358, correct?
Well, the top total the account balance already takes into account the,
Previously paid
yeah, the previously paid.
invoices.
Mhm.
The 1.133 includes the ones that were paid.
Pardon me?
Correct.
Yeah.
There was also a balance in the account before we started here, so there was some money available to pay some bills. Not a lot, but enough that we could knock a few out, but it was money that the county had in place prior to Serenity Estates taking over on September 1st, so those receipts were ours to retain.
Seems obvious to me that the ones that have come to the table and offered settlement agreements are simply first on this. Would the committee be, can I have a consensus on that, at least? I mean, we're saving an awful lot of money.
Yes, absolutely. Since
And they're willing to work with us, understanding the circumstances, so. If we prioritize those first. Kind of look at what that. How that impacts the total of what we have available left. Is there any way we can?
That email reflects their demand. My total reflects the original.
Total up top.
Correct. No,
No,
for that second one listed.
so help me understand this, so I'm extremely clear. You got a total amount, those guys at 427,660. They're demanding we pay it at a minimum 316,157.
Correct.
Without any, they're not offering anything.
Just if paid by the end of the month, there won't be interest on that balance.
There won't be interest on that balance.
The interest would be after, so that the remaining.
So if we paid everything else off and left that open, we'd be paying interest on that 427.
Correct.
As an example.
If we didn't pay it.
Correct. It was by my recommendation, put at the original amount.
Gotcha, great. Or if we paid 50%, we paid 50%. I mean, we're gonna pay 1.5% on whatever the balance will be.
Correct.
So what's the point of the 316,157?
That was the number that came up. They did it based on the aging of the invoices and paying invoices and all.
That makes. Mhm. Well, I'm not happy about who's that. So. So on the, halfway down the second page, there's one that lists the total amount of 8622, but in white, there's a 7640 and request payment in full. Is that 70, but it's not marked in blue. So is that 7640 a reduced amount?
The settlement's the middle.
count.
7460.55 would be what we was paying them.
Right.
Gotcha.
Oh, yes.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
You guys speak up so everybody can hear you.
I went through all the reduced amounts, basically ended up on the
I would say
second to the last page, and I think it was up for 560,592.74. Are the ones that are reduced, with the reduced amounts. So about right.
with the exception of number two.
Uses, somebody actually go back and that's. Add that one in there.
So I was
I
up
had
in
that
the,
in there.
I was up in 800 range with all the stuff in blue. Except for the one that's not, I got the one here that's already appeared interest and other ones that removed.
Yeah, I did have that one in there.
We're gonna make that,
We had that one in there.
so with the extra two.
I started and gave up. I had that whole thing is got to come back. So 9 years, so this is the year that's 255, 37.
While you're doing your calculations, if I may,
Yep.
I would ask that you keep that 34,440 for the civil money penalties as part of your total.
Okay,
That's, we don't have any idea as far as, I haven't had any communication, so I'm afraid to, I don't want to let that.
if,
That. I started 34.
The 30, under
It's on the
34.
bottom of the first page,
440.
all right.
First page.
CMS civil
Second from
money
the bottom.
penalty at the bottom.
Okay.
That's the amount that was communicated initially, but we've not had any communication since.
no, I'm thinking if,
See, this one was reduced and interest before that by 60.
well, that's not, I wonder if there's enough there to pay both of them. Once you get past this, those two are paid.
It could have been, this is
Yeah.
so 980. Once it's reduced, and the SATs.
Should be right on the end.
We should be.
I would take, again, take that, put that in order.
40,000. Yeah.
There's stuff there.
So.
Uh. This point. I'm thinking this way. I would entertain a motion to pay all the items in lieu up to the full original amount and or negotiated amount per what they have in the spreadsheet. Less, and holding the CMS civil money penalty money in place. And I would remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, line 12 on page 2. I'll move that into the white unless there's enough money left to pay it.
Yeah, is that?
Lisa Smith. Lisa Smith.
I don't want to say anybody's name.
Well, this is all public information here,
Oh, this is too? The spreadsheet's online?
why we're doing all this.
So the Leonard Tree and Landscaping has not offered any accommodation on the interest rate, so I'm gonna hold that to the end. We got enough money to pay him.
If I can.
Yes.
Note. So far, there's been an increase of $13.85 due to interest that he's charging us, which will continue to get interest. Okay,
That's what I'm saying.
just wanted to clarify.
I'm making money, yeah. Charge,
Mr. Chairman.
don't get me started.
Yeah. This is Teresa Smith, Lender Tree is number 13. Which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about, maybe I counted wrong. Number 13, would be Leonard Tree.
So, thank you.
So you want to pull that one out?
I'm saying, let's leave that to the end. If we have enough money to pay it, then we pay it. If not, then it becomes a white one and it waits.
The end of what?
The rest of these. And blue.
All I'm going to say is, I originally tasked Adrian and Georgia
Yes.
to look at these again, to try to minimize the maximum amount of interest that we would pay, interest or fees, which is what they've done.
Right.
So that was my ask, and that's what's before you now. So if you pull that out, the lender, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, but at the end of the day, you're gonna end up paying more interest than what's necessary. Whether they negotiate or not.
I would argue that 1.5% on $100,000 is the fair amount more than that 86.
Oh, I won't argue that at all.
Yeah, so that's all I'm saying is I would keep that until the end. We got enough, because I don't see a number on here, Scott, that's telling me exactly if we add all these blue ones up. We've got the 34,000 left under the 1358.
At 980. 988,000. With all the blue ones.
You think that's covering all time? I wouldn't know, Susan, that's 850 right there.
So the
That's
civil money,
950.
the 34,440 is actually reflected in the amount in the black box. I just wanted you to keep that in mind when you look total.
Right.
No.
No, I'm saying you're paying these two off. Awesome. So that's 850, 864, 865, and that's gonna be 965.
Maybe I made mistakes for sure. I didn't add that. So.
And a little million right there. And I think you got enough now. And that the other 225 is out. So much.
Yeah, this one. This one.
Thanks. Right.
So that was my stats one. It's reflected this is your fault. Mr. Karen.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think what our goal was to kind of prioritize those vendors that did want to work with us. And I
Yes.
think Georgia continues to, she's built a rapport with a lot of these vendors, continues to reach out to them. So these numbers might fluctuate.
Okay.
So we want to make sure, yes, you're willing to settle with us. Great. Well, you're going to move to the top of the list and get get settled up with those vendors first, I think, and then. I mean, the goal was to prioritize those that were charging us fees and interest on what we owe.
Agreed. I'd rather see that. I'm just saying, you know, you've got somebody up top that's, well, they're not really willing to work with us either. It doesn't look like.
Yeah, there are certain vendors that are past the point of listening.
Yeah. I'd be a bit frustrated if I was on their side of the team. Right? There's nothing so there, how much we could have done. If we could have actually sold it,
Everything
it's
is
so done.
I have, everything I circled, I haven't had found, I don't have that one because it was the reduction.
Good.
So that's what I have.
You're still under that one from your last meeting.
It's. I didn't think I didn't have a reduction, I didn't vote.
So instead of playing games with it, I guess, since you guys have already looked through it, would it be best to just say, you know, you have the authority up to 1,358,730 less 34,440 to pay these bills? Prioritizing the ones who will work with us first that have a reduction, those go first, and then working through the rest of it as your eighth. Is that a appropriate way for you two to receive the approval from this committee? Because it's really going to be on you then, to figure it out there. But it's based on what you presented to us tonight as the prioritization. So first ones that go would be the ones that are willing to work with us. So I would reach back out to the rest of them that have it and say, okay, I cut you a check right now. Can you give me a deal? Right? And see if we can knock all this out in the process.
There's one change. The city of Freeport on the final page, on the second page where it says city of Freeport 124760.
Second
That's
page.
the ambulance, second to last.
City and 3/4, main names.
Um,
Second to last page.
Oh,
Second
Towards
to
the
last,
top.
I'm sorry.
yes, that is the.
So that was actually just recently reduced to $290. That, I believe, was an ambulance call for a resident that had actually made its way through insurance.
Oh, excellent.
Look at that.
Do you have any suggestions?
I'd like to hear an answer from what your question was.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that somewhat is what I was recommending. However, the one large one is somewhat offering us not charging interest retroactively
Right.
or on a balance moving forward. So I guess as long as,
Well, that is a deal. That's saving this money.
okay, as long as that
I would
is,
accept that.
yeah, okay. That's what I just wanted to make sure you were understanding that the way,
Yeah.
or I was understanding it the way you intended. So
Yeah, I would include that.
Yeah.
Yes.
that was what I was going to hope for. So
So to restate that, I would entertain a motion using this spreadsheet as the guide we received. We will give the, administrator and finance director and treasurer the authority to pay these bills based on the ones who have negotiated settlements first to save the county, in this case, at least $80,000 plus $6,000. And then to potentially negotiate with additional vendors for additional savings, which may only include reducing future interest payments, but it will be to their discretion. And then to pay as many of these bills as they possibly can with the money that's available, leaving at a minimum the $34,440 in the account to cover the CMS civil money penalty. I would entertain that motion.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I would ask that as we do that, then that we get this document back
Yes, sir.
showing us what's been paid so we can see that.
That would be great.
And the amount was paid.
You guys okay with that?
Like,
Just kind of an update as you go. Okay. Mr. Grant?
Can I get some clarity on the Great American Copier line, that's the last page. The original amount was $1,089, but the negotiated amount is more than that.
Oh. that's
So,
interesting.
I was contacted by their collection company that said that is now what we owe. Had a conversation with the collection company. They are reaching back out to Great American to see what they will come up with as a settlement. But due to it having been sent to collections, that was the new.
I was in Peter's bill with Jason.
That's a pretty hefty interest charge. Twice with the, amount of place. I'm in the wrong distance. Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you both for your diligent comments.
Yes, really, thank you, we give them hope. We need a hope too.
Oh,
Did you-
all right.
I had one other
All those,
question.
oh, one other question.
While we're clarifying. Physicians and media care can't find the bill. Is that what you're saying?
But like I said, I was reaching out to as many vendors as I could that I contacted before, and when I reached out to them, that was the information I was told.
That doesn't sound like a bill then.
It's not recommended.
You should say that.
Yeah, well, that's orange. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Motion carried. Thanks. All right, moving on. What is next? It's fun and exciting. Approval of settlement agreement with Healthcare Services Group. And I think we see the amounts in front of us.
Correct.
Do we need anything other than that?
The settlement agreement is before you. Mr. Larson has reviewed it. There's one small typo that I asked them to correct. Otherwise, as long as we pay in accordance, before the 19th, that will be honored.
So if everybody can see that there's an official agreement that the attorney or state's attorney has reviewed and will be executed upon our approval. So I would entertain a motion to approve that as presented.
Motion to approve.
Then the motion and a second. Any other discussion?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
They want to, excuse me, receive that by the 19th. So is that Friday then actually? There's no mail. So how are they receiving this?
I will clarify with that, but I will get with you and, yeah, I'll ask for. I didn't think about that being a holiday.
Well, I'm not real fond of the mail service or relying on that either. So it's being certified or ACH or something like that. Just make sure that they have it.
I was gonna say, it won't be ACH, but I will get a hold of them and ask if I can send one track and I can do the other one that had to reach.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that clarification. So I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. All right, approval sale of surplus property. You actually believe it.
I can actually have a little picture too. So, it's a site of a former duplex on the 600 block of Benton. The county trustee was awarded the deed July of 24. The previous owner was deceased, because of the lot. Right now, there's hardly any taxes due anyway. But the last time taxes were paid was August of 2020. It was $56.
All right, well, we have a opportunity to move that off, get it back on process. Still gets with you for that, okay, to say that. So, I would entertain a motion to approve the sale of the surplus property as presented. As a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Approval of bid for countywide shredding services. We had the, RFP go out last month.
Yes.
Correct. We had 67 vendors apply. No.
You see the one response before you. Which is surprising because that is not the same company that's been servicing the courthouse in the interim. So,
They didn't want to bid. Interesting.
I reached out to them. They had the RFP.
Okay,
I did speak to the sheriff just to, because I have not done one-off pickup in my office, and he said the prices were comparable, so.
okay. So you're good with it?
Yep.
Okay. So I would entertain a motion to approve the bid as presented. So moved. I have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of payment Arrow for January broadband fiber and land support. This must be a special situation, I'm taking.
So with the way the billing happens at the beginning of the year, end of the year, this couldn't be entered into the claim cycle for regular payment to be paid on time.
It's a separate plan, basically. So it's the amount of $6,609.60. I'm going to entertain a motion to pay Arrow at this time. That's great.
So
And a motion and a second. Any other discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Let's see. Approval of purchase of weather stations from Frost Solutions.
So Mr. Rasmussen, provided that quote to, myself and Sherman Holmes. I believe it's 3 weather stations, 2 for the highway, 1 for EMA. He
I
just,
believe this is the budgeted.
it is budgeted, yeah.
It's just a formality. So I would entertain a motion to approve the $9,075 presented to this committee for Frost Solutions to pay for these 3 weather stations.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. And a second. Any other discussion? Yes, sir.
Why is it brought here? Why wasn't it through highway?
We got the bid on Wednesday. The agenda had been posted on Tuesday.
They just asked if we could fast track it, so I said we could put it through finance.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir. Good question. So I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, committee chair reports. I really don't have anything necessarily. I think everything's gone pretty smoothly with the year-over-year transition. You guys get in the audit cycle and stuff, and you'll have some more fun to talk about. I am concerned about that whole nursing center thing. It's going to be, if you guys have any issues, getting information out of that, we need to address that. If you need help with that, So, other than that, seems like, one question I did have, well, I got you here too, is when you look at, taking this advance, and we're gonna start paying off the bills, what's your estimate on how that's gonna impact our reserve? We were at a 6-month around there. Do you have any comment?
I really am not confident to make it even a guess for you. I will still have, I think, sufficient reserve. Is it where we should have it? No. So it's just, it's a little hard to tell right now. Like, for instance, I just got notice of what the sales taxes are going to be for this month. They're up like 142,000 over the highest we've ever had before, between public safety 1% and 4%. So given curveballs like that, I just don't feel confident giving you. I think we're okay. I think we could be for a nice bake.
I asked, so that's all right. Okay, administration.
It was a pretty quiet meeting. The only item we had on is that old business was an AI use policy that was talked about and discussed. Wasn't passed. It's not quite ready to, it hasn't been reviewed yet, right?
Got a response this morning, so I know Nate's starting to work through.
Okay, so probably next month that'll be going to administration and we have to go in part of that. It's setting policy. See, there's a policy though. But anyhow, that was the only item that we had. Good discussion on that.
All right. Nurse set.
Okay, so it was a short positive meeting. They have 70 residents out there right now. That is the most they have had in a long time. They had 17 admissions in December. They are fully staffed, no agency usage for the last 2 days of the week, last week. The corporate team remains in the building. They are able to reach out to them at all times. And they're still waiting on the union for response to the red line contract back. And that's it.
Look at that, is man, huh?
What they
That's
do?
impressive.
Go for it, try to look in Lena 2 years ago.
No. Seriously, it would. But they did say they're coming, a lot of FHN is using them back again. And some from Wisconsin, some from the Grenoble area.
Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana, she said, so they're coming from. That software.
Like, there's very well. Mr. Bush,
Hey, very quiet.
all
I
right.
have nuts.
Yeah, I hear you got another Brook diner. on your-
Yeah.
Jeez, guy never shows up. Yeah. I don't know what that is. The last 2 months, just man, 2 things on Tuesday nights like that I didn't
Yeah.
know. It stinks, but I'm dogged determined to be there next month. Smile at you in the chair. Anyway. Let's see, Dale, clerk
For
services.
services, we approved the resolution for the public prosecutor for $21,000. That will be at the county board on Thursday. It's all budgeted. I'll take care of it. Other than that, it's,
Rolling along.
yeah,
Good deal.
they're busy.
All right. Planning and development.
Hey, we're just so excited about looking to the future.
All right.
We haven't had a very busy meeting and we're just looking at some things for potential issues down the road as far as zoning is concerned, making sure we're staying on top of those things as we move forward, making sure that we're ready as we have some changes. Looking for the other serious discussion that we, serious business, I mean,
Those guys ever get any further on that truck stop out there? You know,
that's not, well, that's
it's on hold.
kind of put on hold out there because there's a lot of changes going on with that business. Just curious. I know from the past, being a realtor and being involved in some of the things, we had organizations looking at potential places for a truck stop. And back then we had 2, Kelly Williamson Mobile and another organization that looked at it, and they did not want to do that because they already have the center in Stockton. They didn't think that there was going to be enough business at that particular intersection.
Yes.
The only addition to that potential was the potential to have Pearl City Elevator was looking at putting in a truck wash there. And you know that Pearl City Elevator and Stephenson Service are now in the process of merging, so that's not going to be in the mix at this point either.
Seems like it might not be a bad spot. Okay, Mr. Grant.
So, it's typical winter work out there today. They're cutting brush and working on equipment. In between snowfalls, they've been kind of glad that the weather's been cooperative here the last few weeks. At filling potholes, this is a everyday occurrence, yes. Busy, very busy at the county engineer's office, preparing for lighting. There'll be a lot of lights up there in the next few weeks. It's gonna be a very busy construction season. Thanks to Mr. Rasmussen and his hard work and getting all kinds of grant money. So we are excited about the things that are happening.
How's everything going with the new buildings for animals?
Animal control is proceeding. There's been a few things surfaced that we had to check out, and we've had some positive developments out of all of that, so that's encouraging. So maybe we can, I wouldn't say we're on the fast track, but we're moving forward.
All right, anything else?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
And I see it every day when I go to the code. What's going on out there across from North Special?
Where?
East of town.
As a southern,
Is it solar?
I don't know.
It looks like it's gonna be.
It's a bigger than
That's why I was
solar, as deep as they are. They're 12 feet to ground.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we're by struck.
I don't know,
Yeah.
They used to struck
I
up
don't know.
Dickman's property.
No, sure.
Hey, one other thing I will say, who did the bridge job out there in Bolton for the train? Is that the train company do
So
that?
that's, yes, the train, Asian National is working on the, it's part of it. Has been working on the rail project, during this last year. And so the county now is going to be working with the township, that's actually a township road. But, they'll be, making a new approach, and that will be a 13'6" clearance when they're done. Okay. So it's a huge improvement. Again, a lot of federal grant money involved with that.
Yeah, the bridge itself looks
Cast part of it.
really nice, but when you drive through there, it looks like they just pounded these huge steel girders down into the ground at different angles. And it's holding up this big cement block. It's really an odd looking thing. Had never seen a bridge that looked like that before. So I encourage you guys, if you get a chance to run out over that, check it out. You know what I'm talking about? Well, we just went through there the first time the other day because it's finally opened up.
Okay, I'm all through, you know.
Just do it.
What was happening was the GPSs were routing large semi trailers down through there.
Oof.
The full size van trailers coming off of 20 and headed straight south from Bolton. They were getting to that underpass and they weren't able to go through it like that. So there aren't very many options, especially when DOT is closed, except for back out onto Highway 20, which is a very bad idea. So this is going to be a huge improvement on a number of fronts.
No, that makes sense.
It's even worse when they come from south and have to back up.
It's a long ways, but at least they can do it. That's all, yeah.
Mr. Bush. Hey, so moved. Hey, we got a motion to adjourn. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all.
Had a good journey.
See y'all.
Our drill still in a new office.